Okay, let me go back to share. Everyone can see that? What is cartooning?
Yeah, I can see that on my screen.
Very good. Okay, let's go around the room. Randy,
Yeah.
those 3 words, what is cartooning? What comes to you? Can you give me a quick little rundown?
Okay. When you ask me what is cartooning,
Yeah.
I think of, well, I think it's like an animated style that's very, very pushed and unrealistic. That's what comes to mind when I think of cartooning.
Okay. Houston?
Yeah, I think of like kids' cartoons or like exaggerated comics, like caricature, stuff like that.
Okay. Nyoko, you there? When I say what is cartooning, what comes to mind?
I think of pretty much an exaggerated 2D image that kind of portrays like the normal days of life, but kind of like an exaggerated comical view.
Very good. Randy?
I think I went already.
Oh, I'm sorry. You did.
Yeah.
Right. You're right. Brenda?
I think of like exaggerating like characteristics of people and like just being more like I don't know, like making realistic things pop out more, but in a funny way.
I like that. Jacob?
I think it's like trying to make drawings pop out more. Like I still don't know like the full thing. That's what I think it is.
Okay. And then let's ask Sari. Sari, what do you think? What is cartooning?
Uh, well, the way I think of cartooning is that it's mostly used in 2D traditional media, make it more like a Tom and Jerry or something, but it can be used to help like portray a story, like whether it's comical, dramatic, or just in general.
Well, they're all great answers, guys. Let me pull this down. So I'm going to play a little video for you that I put together.
Aha.
All right. So cartooning is a form of art, like painting or sculpting. A cartoon is a type of illustration. Sometimes it's even animated. It can be quite simple or complex. Created in a non-realistic or semi-realistic style. The specific meaning has evolved over time. Here's Betty Boop. To Jessica's Rabbit, the modern usage refers to either an image or a series of images. Intended for satire. I'm just going to stop there for a second. This is Dilbert, the salesman, and his boss says, "Your competitor was here an hour ago. He promised me a massage from Helga if I buy from his company. What's your offer?" "I'll give you my house for Helga." You're new at this. Or caricature. Everyone know who these are, guys, right? Who are those guys?
Star Trek.
Right. Or humor. This is a classic New Yorker cartoon from Robert Mankoff. "No, Thursday's out. How about never? Is never good for you?" That's fun. That's a classic. Creators of comic strips, comic books, and graphic novels are referred to as cartoonists. Comic strips are usually a short series of cartoon illustrations in sequence. They're called comics or funnies. Although humor is the most prevalent subject matter, this is by Robert Crumb. Okay, lady, now let's just say that this dirt is your conscious mind. The Adventure, little Superman, dun, 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 and drama are also represented in this medium. It's from Will Eisner. Another important feature of cartooning is a caricature. A caricature is a description of a person using exaggeration of some characteristics and oversimplification of others. This is kind of a cool piece. It was in Mad Magazine. Everybody know the song, from Cabaret? Everyone know that? The movie Cabaret?
Oh, the movie, no.
No? I'll kind of sing it to you. So they're saying on top, if you can read up there on top, it says, "What good is watching some dull local war nightly on your TV? Come to the galaxy, my friends. Come to the galaxy. We got a Death Star and ray guns galore. Killings improved, you see. Come to the galaxy, my friends. Come to the galaxy. Come see the droids. Come see the Force. Come have a blast. Watch a crusader risk his life against Darth Vader. You'll meet a Wookiee who lets out a roar each time we sing off key. Come to the galaxy, my friends. Come to the galaxy." No applause. There's also the political cartoon. It's a famous one by a gentleman named Thomas Nast, what we're talking about. Developed in England in the latter part of the 18th century, also known as an editorial cartoon. They're a graphic with caricatures of public figures expressing the artist's opinion. An artist who writes and draws such images is known as an editorial cartoonist. They typically combine artistic skill, hyperbole, and satire in order to question authority. They draw attention to corruption, political violence, and other social ills. Anyway, that's a start to understanding cartooning. There's more to it than that, but just kind of a brief overview. One really important set of cartoons or cartooning I find is the New Yorker cartoons. Everyone know what New Yorker cartoons are?
Sounds familiar.
Well, let's look at some of those.
Same, it sounds familiar.
This was the first cover of New Yorker magazine. Look at that, February 21st, 1925. And look at how much the magazine cost, only 15 cents. Wow. So the New Yorker magazine has been around for a very long time. This was one from 2014. Look at the price difference, $6.99. So in like, what would that be? Like 80 years to go from 15 cents to $6.99. That's much about inflation. This is a more recent one. What's great about New Yorker magazine is if you're a cartoonist, they have great articles, but they usually put in around 13 cartoons per magazine. It comes out every week. There's a few of these. The other side of the rock is supposed to be beautiful at this time of year. Oh, good. You brought your pony. Anyway, enough about me. That's where the celebrities are. I was looking up higher clouds. Bad news, the unicorns are gay. Same time tomorrow? What I love about the cartoons in the New Yorker, they're not drawn that well. I mean, they're pretty simple. He's a working dog, but I don't know what he does. But they're so funny, They're so clever. And when you get to see the artists, you see that they have a specific style. I question your choice of locations. I won't need a bag. I'll eat it here. Check out the new guy. I hate her. I'll check and see if he's available. Game Wilson's very funny. Can you hang on a sec? I think I just took another picture of my ear. I can't talk now. He's right here. And there's the classic cartoon I showed before. No, Thursday's out. How about never? Is never good for you?
Every introvert ever.
That's a great one. Anyway, I find that the most irreverent and clever cartoons are from the New Yorker magazine. So what I'm going to do for now, I think it's already like about 5:24. Let's see how far we can see this little movie here. It's a documentary. It came out about 5 years ago. And it's called Very Semi-Serious. And it's a nice little documentary about the New Yorker magazine. You guys ready? Let's play it.
I have drawn this way in one type of way or another since high school. I have been making these little dot pictures. And I must say I am easily, as you can see here, the world's most proficient dotter. My dots, I don't know what they are. There's some outgrowth of my personality, and also a way to really disguise the fact that I can't draw all that well. This is a type of calming, a meditation, in which I get ideas. So I might call this, future comedy in the 21st century, or more likely it might just lead to something, something else. I think it would be actually fairly funny for a robot to fall on its ass by slipping on a banana peel. I think that would be good. That's always interested me, that some of these marks that I make on paper, not just me, everybody, outlasts you. And yet yet the little pencil mark has the spontaneity that life has. Cartoons either make the strange familiar or the familiar strange. But just imagine yourself that you're from another planet, and that you just start to look a little bit more carefully at your world and see it as alien, but still your world. And that's what the New Yorker cartoons do. A lot of the New Yorker cartoons are actually about something. They're not didactic, but they are located in our world. So humor in some way deals with our fears and the unpleasant things in life and tries to give us some distance from it. The bedrock of humor, it is just having fun. The New Yorker isn't the bedrock, it's the Everest. Hey, Mort, how are you?
I'm all in one piece.
Let's see a cartoon. One of the unpublicized. Vampires are over. Laundry. Hopelessly ineffective. Sisyphus.
I go into the magazine every Tuesday, and by this time I'm almost totally inured, to the rejections. I mean, that goes with the territory. This, I thought you'd like this a lot. See, to make it look exactly
Well, you say
like...
no. What's this?
No, clowns. I said, send in the clowns, and these are clones.
Oh, yeah, that I understand. This looks
See,
like...
but I'm saying that
this is just a wordplay joke. Clones are old. We've been doing
look how
clones.
visual this is.
It is. I agree.
I used to say I was going into the magazine for my weekly humiliation, along with everybody else.
And the men.
Send in the clones.
Hi, Bob. Hey, Bob. How are you?
Hey.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I like this. This is a Picasso joke. My eyes are over here. I lost so much weight, I have room for a summer intern. It's great.
Sumors, because they're sumos. They're giant s'mores with diapers on.
That is so crazy. Who's this, a little cat?
It's a cat in a suit.
A cat in a suit.
Now you've seen everything. This format has been around for a long time, so I think we're trying to make it a little weirder, like take it somewhere it hasn't gone yet. Which is hard because it's gone into a lot of really funny places already.
First time I submitted, I guess was in, it was 1946, 1964. Oops.
First thing I submitted in New Yorker, I submitted in second grade. It was a cartoon of a hunter who had shot Donald Duck, and he was telling his friend, like, come over, you gotta see this one. And I sent it to Tina Brown, who was the editor at the time, and was not accepted.
I got a book out of the library in Los Angeles that was written by Mort Gerber. And it told you like who to submit to, like, and where, and what the process was. I saw that there's an art meeting once a week. You send 10 or 12 cartoons in the self-addressed stamped envelope. And so that's what I did.
This is about the amount that I'd get in half a day.
It felt like an assistant at the New Yorker was just pulling them out of what I sent them and putting it in my self-addressed envelope and putting it back with the little slip.
It's hard to pass it up to Bob, especially if the drawings are really goofy or overly cartoonish.
We regret that we are unable to use the enclosed material. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to consider it. The editors.
It comes to the point where you sort of get almost addicted to the glue.
It's the least personable interaction you could have with someone about something.
I started submitting the New Yorker in 1971. And the first 10 cartoons I drew got rejected. And I thought, okay, well, be better next time. Be better next time. Be better next time. I was rejected for 25 years.
off we go. All right, wait. I can't do it yet. All right, I will be coming.
Oh, sweetie.
Why?
That's okay. That's all right. You do other things well.
Wow. Corey tries to keep my ever-expanding ego under control.
Are you supposed to keep talking to them? Aren't we supposed to pretend they're not there?
Oh, well, we break the
Can't
we break the
do
fourth
this
wall,
thing
too.
the way we're supposed to?
No, it's supposed to be a
You
combination.
can't resist a group of girls.
Well, yeah. They are my entourage.
I'm gonna bring you back to real life, sweetie.
This is the affectionate part.
This is the part we fake.
Well, yeah, true.
Sorry. He doesn't do that when it's just the two of us. He does that when there is a fresh and broader audience. I am not his prime audience. I don't think. I don't. I know I'm the love of your life.
Absolutely.
And I know you get a lot of your material from me. And I try, you know, both intentionally and unintentionally. Like all those women in the cartoons with no hips, that's really me, except that he like slimmed me down.
My memoir. Originally, I'm writing the memoir because of the advance. Part of it is like it's assignment. How many words do I have? They said 40,000. You know, I'm counting the words in my Word document. But then you really start thinking about your whole life. You realize, whoa, you're not going to have another memoir. Which means you're not going to have another life.
I am the firstborn of the firstborn of the firstborn. And my father was a cutter in a clothing manufacturing company. He never made more than $40 a week. And I was, you know, the young hope. I think I was making $150 a week as a copy chief, which was more money by far than my father ever had earned in his life. And so when I decided that I had it, I came home and I said, I have something to tell you. I'm quitting my job and I'm going to Mexico and I'm going to try to learn to draw. And he looked at me and he said, this is no job for a Jewish person. You can't be a cartoonist, so I'm disinheriting you. Which is really kind of funny because he didn't have very much to disinherit me from. That was when I said, I'm going to try this freelance life. And if it works, it'll work. How come I never remember what this is?
It's on the card.
I got it. No, it's all right.
Okay.
A lot of people speak about the long apprenticeship, let's say, banging on doors with your fist. It's very different today. This was the very first cartoon that I ever sold to the New Yorker. The first. It wasn't the first that was printed, but it was the first that I sold, and it was a full page. How about that as a debut? From there on, it went downhill. Look at this. The caption is, I've always been partial to high ceilings.
The New Yorker began as a comic weekly. The cartoons, or the drawings they're called, that was right there from the very first issue in February of 1925. So on one hand, it was originally to have art in the magazine. There were no photographs in this magazine, with some tiny exceptions, until the early 90s. And they were to provide delight. They were to provide a spirit of the magazine.
James Thurber got it down to a single word where there's a guy in the fencing and the other guy's head goes off and the guy's saying touche. Immediate, visual, and comment. You got it. In a technical sense, it was absolutely bad. In an emotional sense, and for his crazy cartoons, loopy cartoons, it was perfectly right. William Steig is amazing because he transformed himself from a wonderful cartoonist of sort of lower class Jewish city life into a psychologist of humanity. There were celebrity cartoonists like Charles Addams, Peter Arno, who maybe at that time were making $100,000 a year. They're making good money. Peter Arno won like the best dressed man in America. He was a bon vivant. Arno completely captured his time. One of his best-known cartoons became part of the language in which the plane is crashed in the background. You see the pilot parachuting. Everyone is running towards it all, and the engineer is walking away saying, well, back to the drawing board. Every line in that drawing draws you into the plane and then back out to see this figure. Charles Addams is probably the most well-known New Yorker cartoonist because of the Addams Family. What Addams did is he made Gothic horror funny. Saul Steinberg was a huge inspiration. He saw not only humor, but philosophy. But he elevated the whole field of what cartooning could be, that it could be an art, and that it could be an aspirational enterprise.
I came in at the end of the golden age of cartooning, and it started that way back in the 40s or so, probably 15 years before I started.
What made it possible to survive in the days when I began was that there were so many magazines. You could be rejected 90% of the time, but if there were 95 magazines, you were still selling.
I was selling to Saturday Review, and I was also selling to Look magazine, Argosy, This Week, True magazine,
Collier's, Saturday Evening Post,
McCall's or Ladies' Home Journal.
Esquire at that time published cartoons.
So I think 63 was my first appearance in Playboy.
I cut my teeth on the girly magazines, on Dude and Jen. one of the places was a magazine called Rascal out of Chicago.
Cartoonists in those days went after the whole field. According to whatever market paid the most, you offer them your stuff first.
Little by little, they all started either closing down or diminishing or not using cartoons at all.
The cartoons had partly made the New Yorker what it was. So you aren't going to eliminate the cartoons from the New Yorker.
The most important part of that job, and to me the most satisfying part of the job, was discovering and nurturing new talent. Finding someone who had a recognizable personal style, didn't look like anything else in the magazine, and also had a point of view. In other words, you're not just buying gags, you were buying a personality that revealed itself through the work. I was thrilled to find that there were people out there like that. One of them is Roz Chast.
It's okay. Outside world, what is that? I just spent a lot more time indoors than outdoors. Not that there's anything wrong with going outside, but it just seems sort of, or the temperature's never right. You know, it's too hot, it's too cold, it's too sunny, it's too rainy. There's branches, there's ticks. It's just annoying in so many ways. I started bringing my cartoons to the New Yorker when I was 23, and Lee told me that when my stuff first started running, somebody asked him if he owed my family money. Knee slapper. Yeah. But I feel like just a few minutes ago, I was, you know, the young kid there. I didn't really talk to anybody for a long time. There were no other people my age. There were no other women. I just kind of felt like, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to have a freak out. I'm just going to bring my work in, just act kind of like a regular, normal person that has a right to be here. And, you know, and then I'll just get out as soon as I can.
He is such a passionate nurturer of the art of cartooning. Bob, we salute you, and we salute all of you here today.
In the New Yorker history, it's published 58,000 cartoons. 58,000 cartoons, which I have right here on this disc, which is virtual. Damn. Back up. You know, I think really when I became a cartoon editor, I really didn't know what I was doing and didn't do a very good job. You know, I just said, oh, well, these are the best cartoonists in the world. Here they are. They're giving us stuff. It was like a plane that was running really on automatic pilot. Next victim. But I think about a year into it, I realized that, you know, this is a plane that was going to run out of fuel. Unless we interceded, this was going to be the last generation of cartoonists to do this. One of the things I did do is I've opened this thing up. So now it is open. All you have to do is call and say, I want to show you my cartoons. Give me 10 ideas every week. Try to do it for a year, because in doing those ideas, you're developing what it is you actually have to say. It's encouraging for people, I hope, to come here and for me to try to encourage them. Minds. People hate minds. And then that's the way you're going to find it. I like the idea, but not this idea particularly. I think our goal here is intergenerational. I want to open up to younger people, absolutely, but I don't want to put these other people on an ice floe because they still have really good things to do. Why is it a bunny? I don't know, because I do good bunnies. drawing's a little bit clunky.
I did Google how to draw people sitting.
It's an old form and it has to evolve. So I'm looking for that. Everybody's always looking for the next Raj Kass. They were looking for the next Saul Steinberg, and there was no next Saul Steinberg. But it doesn't always exist like that. Anybody else? Anybody left?
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how
Used to
are
work
you?
here.
You're the intern here.
So what have you been doing?
I have a fellowship to make a graphic novel.
Oh, where is this?
It's called a 6 Points Fellowship. I'm almost finished. It's about a Yiddish advice column.
That's the graphic novel.
Yeah.
Huh. Sneaker from Hell. I like the style. It's interesting. Like, so let me think about this. You know, we're always looking for things that break the pattern.
Yeah. I've come here like 3 times before, and I always tried to be mainstream, and my work was terrible. So
You're not
I decided,
mainstream.
I try, I can't.
Even your voices are mainstream.
It's wobbly.
It's great, but
Thank
it's
you.
interesting. Somehow it's your whole persona. To me, anyway, it seems like that.
Maybe Asperger's.
uh, I like these. You know, I don't know whether David will go for them or not. And the real thing is, are you willing to do it? Are you?
Yes.
What is this about you? Is this like a one-of or something you did in a week? Or
No.
is this some expression of your personality? Can you keep doing it? Can you expand it? You know what I
I've
mean?
been doing these constantly since I was 16, and I just never bring them in because I self-censor, but I'm getting more confident about
These
being
are
able to take
interesting.
rejection.
I like these. I like these. There's something about them that's good.
Okay.
Okay?
Can I come back?
No.
Come back.
Never.
Thank you so much.
Never darken the cartoon department door again. But, you know, I like.
I'd always been this extremely shy kid. I couldn't make eye contact, and I had this very quiet voice, and I was always happy living in my own world and having maybe 2 friends. In 2nd grade, we made these books. When I grow up, I want to be a cartoon artist with my friend Rebecca Schenker. Suddenly, when I was a teenager, I realized that I wanted to be human, and I didn't know how. That's when art started to become not just something that was fun and that I did, but I started looking to it as some kind of way that I could save myself. We clumped together, we climbed out, and we planned to rise to the top of your society. I think that's too long. I like the sillier ones like this, but I feel like they're more me and less New Yorkers. The New Yorker is very to the point, it's punchline-y. I don't think that's what I'm best at, and I think they'll accept me not being that. I think the real thing that I have to learn is that I shouldn't want to be that so very badly. I do.
I think the New Yorker is, it's a very sort of like white establishment publication in a lot of ways. A lot of the jokes that do get in are sort of lampooning the sort of person who reads the New Yorker. It's a segment of society that takes itself very seriously, you know, so it's just begging for it. Organic food buying, private school, artisanal trend, kind of basically stupid cracker shit. I'm digging myself quite a hole here. I maybe pitch more things that try to subvert the usual New Yorker thing than actually get in, but it's important to me and to Bob that I keep working that angle.
Let's see, here's some stuff I haven't turned in yet. This guy, this is the latest one. Oh, that's what those are for. And God's putting coffee in the guy's halo. When I'm editing down what I'm going to submit, I have an idea of what Bob and Dave Remnick are looking for the magazine, but I'll also include things that are, you know, different in some way, different than the normal kind of joke, because it makes it exciting, and I think they like seeing that. This is a guy, he's walking a bowling ball, and this woman's walking all these bowling pins, and they're gonna intersect. I guess my characters are sort of blocky, with no necks, not particularly attractive. I think necks make people look sort of regal. I'm taking him down a notch without a neck.
You know, we grew up with like crazy Ren and Stimpy cartoons, and The Simpsons really, I think, has influenced the kinds of jokes that I make. When I first started submitting cartoons, Bob asked me to tone it down a little bit. He said my characters looked like they were too much on crack.
I think they want punchy stuff, you know? Joke, 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 joke. And I could write a gag to save my life. My work doesn't work that way. I have a couple. It's always the same couple. It's the same situation. They're always in the living room. And stuff happens to them that I'm not aware of. I'm just the vessel.
So many of the cartoonists there now are humorists first. I drew first. I was an illustrator first. I was convinced that he pointed out that like my writing seemed to need a lot of work. Here I have a line, the girl with the regrettable tattoo, which I thought was funny, but I couldn't figure out how to use it. Wolf who cried boy. I tried the boy who cried squirrel, and then you have to think like, why would he cry that? Now I have a squirrel in place of King Kong. For the boy who cried sloth. What if you replaced King Kong with a sloth? And the policemen are saying, we'd better send some planes up eventually. Still life with Anaconda, 2 rabbits, and my niece Rachel. I feel like that's already a New York cartoon. Yeah. He's wearing a t-shirt that says, God is my co-pilot, and God is wearing a t-shirt that says, Lenny is my bitch. I think I've sold maybe 10, maybe 12 cartoons, not that many so far. And if I could make a living at it, I think that, you know, that I'd be pretty happy with that. My brother was kind enough to hire me at his furniture store. It's pretty mind-free, it's pretty painless.
Cartoonists can make a living as a New Yorker cartoonist. It's the best paying outlet in the world. The problem is that most cartoonists at the New Yorker live in expensive cities. It's hard to live in New York and be a New Yorker cartoonist.
I think almost everyone from my generation, I mean, my sort of the time when I started cartooning, we all have day jobs.
Come on, buddy.
I'm so angry that I cannot be just paid to draw dogs drinking out of toilets all the time.
I'm a junior size medium and a contemporary size 6. And it doesn't mean that I'm perfect. It just means that my body is sort of average enough and not extreme in any direction.
Being a single panel cartoonist is like being a poet. If you think, oh, this is my career, I'm going to have health insurance, I'm going to have a great house, it's just not the reality of it.
My parents really did want me to be a teacher. And I remember my mother would sometimes make these pronouncements, and she'd go, "You know how Picasso got so successful? He flooded the market." And be like, "I don't know." American colonists, women, made rugs out of like old clothing that they tore into strips and then wove through burlap. This one is going to be Carrot Man here. And I haven't worked on him yet. I always like cans. My rule is that they have to be cans from stores. Grandma Brown's. This I got when I was in Alabama once. Isn't that beautiful? This is very nice, I think. Just the color, the pink and the red, and the drawing of the squid. These are peas. Eat them. Can't you see like an outfit like based on this? This is good. No? I mean, the full Monty. Yeah, I went through a big Pisanki egg phase. Oh, he's perched on my wing. Oh. The problem is, if there's a hairline crack in the egg, suddenly the egg will go boop, and you just die. I think this has a recipe for banana meatloaf in it. Yeah. I collect these articles. There's some hilarious stuff in here. This is one of my favorite. Mom was really something. She always made sure I had the biggest birthday party and the prettiest dress at the prom. She never stopped giving me her best love and attention. It's my turn now, Mom, to give you the best because you deserve it. Casket Company. My mother was very complicated, and my relationship with her was complicated. She was very, very strict. She was, very strong, very, very strong person. A bit too strong for me, in fact. But one thing about drawing, and especially drawing funny pictures, is it's something you can sort of do in private. And so, somebody could, be like really sort of horrible to you, but if you were too afraid of having a fight with them or not really strong enough to have a fight with them, you could say, "Okay, then. Oh, you are so right. Oh, nobody in the world has ever been righter than you. You are brilliant." And then, you go back to your room and you like secretly draw like what you really think. And, it's a good sort of way for a quiet, passive, frightened person to get back.
I think there are some people who go into comedy or go into cartooning who have happy childhoods, but I don't think it necessarily serves you well. I was kind of a tubby, bespectacled mess as a kid. Although I am at times still tubby and bespectacled, but slightly less of a mess. I would have teased me too, if I had been in the position to do such a thing. I think getting teased as a kid is almost a prerequisite for becoming a cartoonist. You have to have a reason to look at the world differently, because if you don't, there's no reason to do it unless you're forced into it. I think you need that kind of struggle. One industry problem for a cartoonist is like keep working or wanting to work when you're like really happy. You kind of have to start looking outside of your usual universe of personal conflicts. Because like if you're, I'm very content. So I can't just make like jokes about personal misery or anything like that. So yeah, there are worse problems to have. And I'm too happy to make jokes about shit, but okay, let's go upstairs. Look at this angel. She's ridiculous.
Reality is very funny. Reality is wonderful. And when you draw pictures, you can do it any way you want, but when it's real, people recognize it, and it's funnier than something you could make up. We all know somebody that spends too much time in the tub. I've done it myself, and that's kind of funny. Man ought to get out of there and dry off and go to work somewhere.
You know, I've always treated them like journals. They're like how I process what's happening to me. You know, what am I thinking about? Who's bothering me? What's interesting me? Like, what am I looking forward to? But every now and then, someone has said, "Was that cartoon about me?" And I said, "No," and but it was.
People say humor is true. What it wants is a grain of truth. It doesn't want real truth. I mean, we already have real truth. Everybody knows what the real deal is about life. You don't need humor to tell us what the real thing is.
Okay, we're going to stop right there because it's already a little past 6. How we doing, guys? You guys enjoying that?
Yeah.
I'm recording it, so if you want to see it again, I'll be turning it into a YouTube video. This documentary is about an hour and 20 minutes, so we'll watch the other 40 minutes on Wednesday. Is that okay? Yeah, it's kind of fascinating. I think the way they delve into the life of a cartoonist here through New Yorker magazine. Again, if you don't know much about the workings of New Yorker magazine, you can go online and see the work too. And you could just, like with everything, you can Google it. But this documentary came out a few years ago. I think it's pretty cool, and I wanted to share it with you. So we'll see the rest of it on Wednesday. But for now, let's go back here. Hang on a second, guys. Just going to stop this. I'm just getting out of it for myself. Okay, let me go back to share screen because I do want to end class on time for you guys. But I would think this would be kind of fun as our first little assignment, and it's kind of like just to have fun. So don't worry, you're not going to get graded on this one.
Okay.
Okay. So, and again, I'll send this to you. I thought it would be kind of fun to do for next class. I want you to write at least one caption for each of the following New Yorker cartoons. So, here, the first one you can see is a gentleman with a very big pants. And this 2 ladies are sitting here, obviously, in the living room. Another one of these 2 guys are in an office. Looks like the guy's coming into this guy's office to talk about something. Someone has come to the door. There's a bunch of cats here. There's one cat is in a wheelchair, obviously. And looks like there's some mice there that have knocked on the door to deliver something, I guess. And then there's a Big Apple, looks like, on a phone call. I have no idea what he's talking about. Well, actually, I do, but I'm not going to tell you. So for fun, I just want to see how clever you guys are. And I want you to write at least one cute caption, one fun caption. If you want to write more than one, please be my guest. So you could do a few if you want. And then we'll look at your wonderful ideas on Wednesday, okay? That kind of became a fun little first assignment, I think. Any questions so far? Yes. Yes.
Could you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, here.
Okay. I don't think I got a chance to introduce myself because my connection was terrible.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh, you know what? The floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, my name is Randy Jackson. My major is animation. And hopefully, I want to work for a studio, an animation studio. Hopefully, that's the goal. And I never took in cartooning before. but I have watched professionals like on YouTube, like other other animators. So there's Glenn King and Aaron Blaze. So and I watch a little bit of Ethan Baker too. So it's good.
Where did you get the impetus, you might say, to want to get into cartooning, Randy?
It was like it was required for like my degree, and I thought it was interesting, kind of interesting. So that's the thing. I'm looking for a style now. So hopefully this class will help me with that.
Okay, well, we will do it best. We'll have fun. You know what, Brenda? I don't know. Well, Brenda's got her microphone up. Brenda, I believe that you were having some difficulty, so I don't know if you got a chance to speak. Do you want to kind of tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Brenda. I'm also doing animation, but I want to focus more on, or I like more stop motion animation, but this was also a requirement for my degree as well. So I kind of want to learn more on how to like style my art and how I can, draw better, I guess, sketch more as well.
Well, I think at the end of 15 weeks, hopefully you will have a better understanding of what cartooning is about. As I said earlier, I taught storyboard sequential art. I'm not teaching it this semester, but this class is a precursor to that class. So hopefully, when we're done with this will be a good dropping off point to that next class. Is anybody thinking about taking storyboard sequential art?
Yeah, storyboard for me because I think it was a requirement. They said that this class was a prerequisite for that class.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not going to get really into storyboarding.
Yeah.
This is more about maybe getting more into technique and understanding how we could take that technique into more of a sequential story, and that is through a comic strip as opposed to a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Same thing with the New Yorker cartoons or political cartoons. It's really about understanding the idea of telling a story very, very quickly. And you're just dealing in lines and dots.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you can say in a very quick way with a bunch of lines and dots. Is the best or simplest way I can put it.
I have a question.
Yes, Randy, go ahead.
So have you ever taken like an animation class before when you were in college or no?
Yes, I did, but it was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys want to see something I did a long time ago?
Sure.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. It's 6:12, so okay if we go past 6:20? I'm not saying we will, but it might happen. So let's go back to sharing a screen. Let's see what I can find here. Okay, I didn't put that there, but that's okay. Let me look for it. In 1 second, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I put it out here. I got so much crap. I was trying to find things. There it is. Okay. I did this. One thing I did a long time ago. I was pretty young. I was in my mid-20s at the time. You guys can all see that?
Yeah.
Okay. There was, you guys all watch Saturday Night Live?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. Well, Saturday Night Live, does anyone know when it started?
Oh, that was way before my time, I think.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty amazing how long it's been on TV. It's going to be its 45th season
Dang.
in the fall. So it's been around a few years, and I was working on Budweiser,
Mm-hmm.
and we had the team I was working on, group I was working on, we came up with an idea of calling this one idea was the taste buds. And they wanted something that would go on live, something live on Saturday Night Live. So we came up with this idea of having a bunch of characters called the taste buds. Matter of fact, here's some of the spots.
And now from Budweiser, the taste buds.
When is he going to stop?
Yes, I'm losing my taste for running.
Rain, do something.
I am with you, Bud. Warning, warning, fluid level unacceptable.
Oh, Brain, about that fluid.
Budweiser.
Outstanding.
Budweiser asks, why do you think they call them taste buds anyway?
Okay, you kind of get the idea. It was kind of a fun little idea, but again, when these were on TV, they were live. They were happening as it was happening.
And now from Budweiser, the taste buds.
You say Bud, you said a lot of things nobody else can say. When you say Bud, you go as far as you can go to get everything. When you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Okay, you kind of get the idea there. So we did a whole bunch of these, and they said, okay, well, that's cool. Can we do, maybe for magazines or newspapers, or better yet, for college crowd. They had all these, college newspapers, and a lot of college students like yourselves, drink beer, and so it was a big audience for getting students to drink Budweiser. So I was asked to work on an idea, kind of a print campaign on how to sell the taste buds. So basically, the TV came out first, and it was getting really good, really positive reactions. And they said, well, where else can we be in? So I said, well, why don't we try to be in college newspapers? Because that was our target audience. So I really liked the idea of working with a guy named Jack Davis. This is Jack. He passed away a few years ago, and I really loved his style of drawing. In fact, he's known for doing Alfred E. Newman. Does this guy look familiar?
Yep, from Mad Magazines.
Mad Magazine, right. And what was great about Jack is that he had just a really great style of cartooning. And, he had done a lot of work for Mad Magazine. Matter of fact, he was one of the originators of Mad Magazine, which came out, I think, in 1952. So I kind of grew up with Mad Magazine, and I always loved Jack Davis's work. As you can see, he's got a great style. He's really a great caricature artist in his own right. Matter of fact, what they do at Mad Magazine is they put the boxes in. They put all these boxes, they leave it blank, and you got to draw all the illustrations, and then they go in and put all the type in separately. Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's from a movie called it's a Mad World. So anyway, we sat down and I wrote a bunch of scripts. So this is what you do first, is if you're going to do you might call it a storyboard, because that's what I was going to do. I was going to do a comic strip. So I was working with a writer, and we wrote out a script. So you have to sit down. You got to basically explain exactly what's going to be happening, in each frame. So, open up on a mouth with type, the title Budweiser Taste Buds in Fresh Can of Balls. Frame 2, wide shot of taste buds all looking left. One taste bud says, boy, when he first took up tennis, I thought we were going to get the chance to get into some mixed doubles with some of those sorority chicks. So anyway, we wrote the script, and then I drew out the comic strip. So this is me. I drew this out. And this is another one. I did a whole bunch of these. Here's the script first. Wrote out the script, and then here was the comic strip. So this one's called Linguistics Exercise, Budweiser Taste Buds in Linguistics Exercise. And so the taste buds are all tied up. Why is it every time he thinks about asking this chick for a date, he gets tongue-tied? Yeah, and every time he gets us all tied up, I get my itch in my nose. Not to mention, we need right now is some elocution lubrication. Bud, of course, but how? This calls for my famous Houdini trick. Who done it? If I can just slid out of these ropes long enough to let him say, Budweiser, yay, out of sight. It worked. He popped the question over a bud, and she said, okay. I don't know what the question was, but I guess we'll leave it up to imagination. I guess you could call it a budding love affair. I'll call it a bad pun. So those are the illustrations I worked out off this script. And then I sent them to Jack. And Jack loved it. And he said, wow, you really made my life easy. And these were his. So he took what I did and did a really wonderful job. So remember, this was the original. This was my drawings. And then I sent it to him. And this was Jack Davis. I mean, I didn't want to get too tight, you know? I mean, I was hiring him. He was paying him a good amount of money to do these. So I didn't want to get too tight, but tight enough that he knew what I was talking about. And he did a great job. And these were pretty successful. So they ran as half-page ads in college newspapers. But I think, you know, the kind of stuff that, you know, I don't see why you couldn't run them today. But it's going to show you, you know, if you like cartooning, I mean, hey, you know, you can make money being a cartoonist. There's definitely a career out there. Anyway, it's 6:21. I don't want to hold you guys anymore. I think that was a nice start. Any guys have any questions? No?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, Randy.
So our first homework assignments is writing like descriptions for those captions or whatever, or?
Yeah, I want you to have some fun. I want you to take those cartoons from New Yorker magazine, and I want you to have some fun, and I want you to be creative. So we'll look at those first when we come, and then I'll show you what the actually the final captions really were.
Okay, so we're just typing below the drawings, right?
You don't have to even type it in, you can write it.
Okay.
Okay? You're not really getting a grade on this. This is more like fun.
Okay.
Though, remember,
so how will we get it? Like through Blackboard or?
No, you're just going to show it to me. We'll just read them. So
like how are we supposed to get like the sheets with the drawings on it? So we can,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send you an email. I'll send you the PDFs.
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. I'll send you the PDFs. I'm sorry. I thought you meant how are you going to get it to me?
No. I'm sorry. Like, sorry about that.
Yeah, when we're done here tonight, what I'll try to do is, by tomorrow morning, I'll make sure that everything we saw today. Well, I'm recording what we just did, so we saw the first half of the film. Once this is done, once I get end, it'll convert it into a QuickTime. Then I just got to get it downloaded, onto YouTube, and then I'll send you the link. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
Nyoko, I think you had your hand raised. Is there anything you wanted to ask me or ask the class?
So one of the techniques that we'll mostly be learning in this class would be like quick drawing, because I noticed that kind of theme in a lot of the different like drawings you were showing us. A lot of them are like kind of quick sketches, not like super detailed.
It's up to you. Some of you are more inclined to maybe be a little bit more technical. That's just the way you are. So you do the best you can. I'm more, inclined to think, did you understand what I was looking for. Like if we're gonna, let's say, draw hands, or draw noses, or draw a mouth, right? It's like how creative you can be. So again, it's really about exercise, right? And that's, I want that to be maybe the first, not, I would say the first half of the class, but a good part of the first half is just kind of like practicing and understanding technique. It's like if you were playing baseball, before you play the real game, you got to take batting swings, right? You can't just go up to the plate and in a real live game, but you want to warm up. Pitcher's going to warm up first before he really gets out there to throw a pitch. Same thing here. I think it's kind of fun to kind of like just see technique and work on technique.
Okay.
And then from that you develop your own style. And I'm sure with what I've seen in the past, everyone has their own style already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know it. I want to see it. I want to see how you guys think. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, don't worry about it tonight. This is not rocket science. We're going to have fun. I know it's not easy because we're not in the classroom together, but it seemed to work pretty well last semester. So I've made a few little corrections along the way.
I have a question.
Yes.
So are you a professor at COD? Because my last professor, like for math, she's like a different campus, but she was hired by COD.
Well, I am adjunct. I'm not full time,
Okay.
but I've been teaching at COD since the fall of 2013.
Okay.
So I've been there for a while. This would be my, I guess, 15th semester. But I've been teaching pretty regularly since 2005.
Okay.
And I've been teaching pretty regularly for the last 15 years. But yes, to answer your question, I'm an adjunct, and I'm not teaching anywhere else. Like I do other work. I do a freelance on other projects, and I've been teaching at COD, since 2013. So I'd be on campus right now if we actually were physically there. Did I answer your question, Randy?
Yeah. Sorry about that. I just like to answer a lot of questions. Ask a lot of questions. So.
No problem. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, you did. Thank you.
I don't want to hold everyone else. Is there any?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Don't worry. No worries. Is anybody else have a question? Okay, cool. Okay, so I will send you the links. Again, right for now, there's only really one thing to worry about. That's those. Not even worry. It's not even a worry thing. It's just what we could to do will be the New Yorker cartoons. And again, it's just more like fun. So do the best you can. Have fun. I'm just curious to see what you guys think. Okay. When I gave this assignment, I'll just make this quick. Last time we had about 15 students. I just put everyone in groups, and everyone worked on it for about 15, 20 minutes in class. But that's kind of a hard thing to do right now. So I just figured I'd try it this way, give it to you as an assignment, and have you kind of play with it. And I'll see you on Wednesday at 3:30. Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you coming. It was great meeting you.
See ya.
We'll just keep this going. Okay. I'm going to end this. Take care, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.